what's up everyone? It's Kate, and today we're going to be talking about the do's and don'ts of networking. Now this is going to include what networking is, where to find networking events, tips for networking and how to follow up after, as well as how to network over LinkedIn. So first, what is networking? This is a term that's used in a lot of different ways, but pretty much it's growing the people that you know through forming genuine connections. A lot of times this is part of the recruitment process, whether that's for your organization on campus, for your college, or if this is part of the professional process for an internship or a job that you are looking to hopefully be offered. And with networking, finding those events can be pretty difficult. So a big don't is don't assume that they're going to fall into your lap. There's going to be some effort associated with finding these networking events. So do make sure to be aware of what's going on around you. Check your email, use your resources, ask people, stay in the know about what's going on. And obviously this can be very difficult as there's probably a lot going on, but if you make sure that you are always open to those different events, then you will be a lot more aware of what's going on around you and you can take part in those opportunities. Another big thing to consider is that you don't want to only explore what's directly related to your field or your dream job, and you do want to be open-minded to any of the different things that you may be interested in. And it also ties to the next don't, which is don't limit yourself to formal networking. Formal networking is obviously part of the recruitment process and you want to get there, but some of the things that you have to remember in networking events are only after you've gotten invited to that networking event. And to do so, you want to be able to have people to connect with, to see what do you have to do to enter into that industry, to get that offer to interview, anything like that. And so that starts with knowing people in something, and you can start anywhere for that. So obviously do be on the lookout for those formal networking events, but do also consider the network you have already. And a great place for this is LinkedIn. With LinkedIn, a major don't is don't treat it as an end-all be-all. LinkedIn is a great place to start, but it is not the only place that you can go. This is honestly kind of a red flag, which is hard to explain because obviously it is a great professional tool. But if you are only relying on LinkedIn to make those connections, how many of them are really going to be genuine? Instead, do use it as a supplement. It should be the start. A great place to start is in the connections that you have on LinkedIn. Search up the company that you want to work for, the industry, the role that you're maybe looking into, and see who you know potentially from that company or someone who knows someone from that company. So start out by looking at the people that you already know and reaching out to them for advice, because not only are they going to be more willing to help you, but those are also connections that you already have that you can build on, which is a lot easier than trying to start a whole new connection from scratch. And another thing for LinkedIn is don't only use it when you are looking for a job, and do remember its value at all points in your career, because at all points, you want to be learning, you want to be growing your network. So I know I have checked out LinkedIn just to see if any of my friends work in a certain field, just to reach out to them and see what it's like to work in that field. I don't necessarily have any interest in going into that field right now, but I might want to learn about it now, and maybe that's something I can take up in the future, and also set myself up to know the steps that I should take now in order to get there eventually. Moving on to the do's and don'ts of networking events. Specifically, don't assume good impressions only matter for the recruiters. And do remember that it's supposed to be a good fit on both sides. Not only are they looking to see would you fit in here, you are also looking to see if you fit in there. So pay attention to the culture, the people, the interactions that maybe the recruiters have with each other, or the other people around you who could potentially be your fellow organization members or coworkers have with each other and the interactions you have with them. If you have only negative interactions there, maybe you didn't get the job, but maybe you didn't need to work there in the first place. So this is a great reminder in order to boost your confidence before going in there, because at the end of the day, it matters to you too, and so you should consider it as an opportunity to invest in yourself and put your best foot forward, but also know that you're on the lookout to see if they're doing the same. The next do and don't is don't treat every networking event the same, and do read the room. See how many people are there. If there's not a lot of people, maybe you can focus on having longer, more in-depth conversations. And if there's a lot of people there, you might want to make sure that you are reading the room, getting up and leaving conversations in order to go talk to a bunch of different people. And with that, there is a big misconception. So don't evaluate the quality of the conversation based on time. A very long conversation is not always valuable. Recruiters, both students and professionals, are great at faking interest in a conversation. So even if you think that a conversation is going great, at a certain point their internal monologue starts begging you to move on to a different conversation. So do exit conversations before they're exhausted. It says a lot when you can appropriately time your exit from a conversation and not lead them from being excited about you to being exhausted from you. And a great way to potentially leave is to ask for their contact information, or you can even say, I won't take up any more of your time, I'll let you meet new people. You could also ask for recommendations on other people that they think you should go talk to, and you can also exit a conversation by asking for their contact information. For example, you could say, thank you so much for taking some time to talk to me and answer some questions that I had. Do you by chance have a business card that I could have so we could stay in touch? And that leads us to the next don't, which is don't be afraid to ask for their contact information. Oftentimes they won't give it to you unless you ask for it, and they are expecting you to ask for it. And so do ask for their contact information and do follow up if you get it. A lot of people don't follow up after they get the contact information, so that just makes asking for it useless and doesn't lead to any more value in the conversation if you are not following it up and maintaining that connection. Following up should happen 12 to 48 hours after the event. And if you're looking for how to follow up, what do I say in the email, anything like that, I actually have it on my website, which I have linked in the description. So you can go ahead and make a copy of the template that I provided. But basically it's just a greeting, a thanking them for their time and talking to you, and some kind of action item such as asking another question or updating them in terms of you turned in your application, anything like that. And then a quick recap of something that you enjoyed about the conversation or something that was memorable. This reminds them who you were and also tells them that you had a notable conversation with them, and so they should pay attention to the fact that you emailed them and reached out. Overall, yes, networking can be a lot of work, but if you just adjust your focus a little bit to make sure that you are aware of at least one networking event a week, you'll be very surprised as to how much more you pick up on the things that are going on around you. Say yes to different opportunities as they come up, and be open-minded and willing to try out new things, because you never know when something will work out in your favor. And if you are putting yourself out there and you're not seeing results, don't assume that networking is sufficient. Yes, it is a huge part, but it only goes so far if you're lacking in other areas. So do make sure that you are a well-rounded professional. If you form that genuine connection and it's followed up by just amazing professionalism, then they have no reason to turn you down. This is a great place to check out how is your resume, how are your interview skills, and I have a lot more tips and tricks available for you on that. So definitely check out my other videos and give them no reason to say no to you. Networking is only step one, but it is a very important step, And so I hope this video was helpful, and if you have any ideas or suggestions for things that you want to see in the future, please leave them down below. Also make sure to like and subscribe, it means so much to me, and thank you so much for watching, and have an amazing time networking. Bye guys.